We've got another very special muscle car today on Muscle Car of the Week. This one is a 1970 Plymouth Cuda AAR in an extremely rare color. This car was a brand new design for 1970. The Cuda was redesigned and in fact raced in the Trans Am series by Dan Gurney and his All-American Racers race team. So the AAR Cuda was the street version of the Trans Am race car, AAR standing for All-American Racers. And these cars are super cool. They are basically a race car for the street. For about $2,900, $2,800, you could go down to your Plymouth dealer, pick one of these things up, powered by a 340 cubic inch V8 with their 6-pack carburetors, 3 deuces on top, made 290 horsepower, 345 foot-pounds of torque. The engine was basically ready to be turned into a race motor. It had thicker main webs at the bottom of the block, which meant you could drill them out and put 4-bolt main caps in. Now Trans Am had a cubic inch displacement limit of 305 cubic inches, so the race cars were actually a de-stroked version of this 340, but Chrysler had a 340 production engine, so that's what they ended up using for the street. It had 10.5 to 1 compression, high performance cylinder heads, had a hot camshaft in it. You could get them either with a 4-speed or a 727 automatic transmission. They weighed right around 3,000 pounds, 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, and they ran the quarter mile at about 14.4 at 100 miles an hour. So I mean, it was just a great, fun car right off the showroom floor. But I think one of the coolest things about the AAR Cuda is the way it looks. There are so many cool elements in this car that give it its racy appearance. And this one in particular is one of the rarest of all of them because it's in this crazy burnt tan, almost brown color. These cars were obviously designed for maximum visual impact. They all came in a variety of different colors. I think there was somewhere around 19 or 20 colors offered on these, depending on who you ask. This particular one is wearing paint code FT6, which is called Burnt Tan Metallic. And like it or hate it, I think it's kind of neat. The browns got more popular in the mid-70s, and we saw kind of a resurgence a few years ago with what they were calling the Starbucks effect, where people saw, you know, metallic brown as being warm and fuzzy. This car is definitely not warm and fuzzy. In fact, there was only 5 of these produced in this color, and there are only 2 known to exist. Perhaps the first thing you see when you look at an AAR car is the blacked out treatment on the nose. It's got a functional fiberglass hood. That scoop is open and it sucks in cold air, and it's held down with factory hood pins. And one thing you'll find on these, if you see one somewhere, you see a lot of damage at the front of the hood lip here, because the proper way to open one of these is to grab it by the scoop and not scratch up the front of it. You just lift this up a little bit, and there you go. And it is painted in what they call organosol, which is a vinyl polymer coating. It's like an industrial coating. When you restore one of these cars, a lot of people shoot them in a flat black or kind of a satin, but the originals have a coating that's pretty thick and heavy duty and definitely gives it an aggressive look. Next, you've got spoilers all over this thing. There's a ducktail spoiler on the back and what they call eyebrow spoilers on the front. Now this is different from a full chin spoiler. They're just 2 little spats that point downward to kind of give it an aggressive look, and I guess that's why they call them eyebrows, because it looks like it's kind of sneering at you. It's got rally wheels, 2 different size tires, bigger meats in the back, so it has a little bit of a staggered rake in its appearance. The blacked out tail panel gives an aggressive look. Side exiting exhaust with chrome trumpet tips. I mean, everything about this car looks racy. Other cool visual items that make an AAR Cuda are the Strobe Stripe on the side, which is another one of my favorite touches. This stripe is cool because it gives the illusion of motion even when it's standing still. And the stripe starts on the front with a small little curve, and then it has these divided slats that just get more and more, you know, crazy as it goes down the side of the car. And it culminates in the back with the word Cuda and then the AAR logo, which is 4 stars, red, white, and blue, you know, a truly patriotic all-American logo on the back of the car. And the whole package, I mean, it just looks awesome. There's no mistaking one of these things, and you drive this thing around, even in this kind of bland brown color, and you're gonna get noticed. Inside the car, it's all business, man. You got a cool gauge panel with a 150 mile an hour speedometer, an 8,000 RPM tach, a quad pack of oil, fuel level, temperature, and of course an alternator gauge. And then a pretty trick looking clock that's got the hours on the inside, but a big sweeping perimeter second hand that just looks like another racing gauge, even though it's just a clock. This one's got an AM/FM radio, which is kind of unique, and you've also got a heater. But other than that, man, not much else. There's an Aar Cuda registry website that has records of about 1,300 of these things still existing today. There's a bunch of them in the Brothers collection where we feature our Muscle Car of the Week cars from, and I think this one is one of the highlights, primarily because it is such an oddball color. You can see more of this awesome car at our musclecaroftheweek.com website, and check out the Facebook page. If you like the page, you can find a teaser of next week's car. Maybe you can figure it out by the little picture. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode of Muscle Car of the Week.